It's 2019, and I've been using the iPhone 7 for about 3 years now. It was my very first iPhone I used, so I have a lot of things to say about it. Should you buy or should you not buy the iPhone 7? And speaking of iPhone 7, there was iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 8, then iPhone 10. So where's the iPhone 9?
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Cyber Reviews, and this is another episode of Techmas where we talk tech throughout the month of Christmas, every single day. And today we are coming to talk about the iPhone 7. Should you buy the iPhone 7 in 2019 or 2020, or should you skip it and buy something else? This is the iPhone 7, and it was launched at about $770, but today you can get it for about $200 on Amazon. Renewed, not brand new though. Now, design-wise, this phone is very similar to the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6s before it, and it's the last iPhone which came with a single camera. So if you're intending to buy one, you need to be a bit careful because you could be sold an iPhone 6 or an iPhone 6s as an iPhone 7. This phone is water resistant, so I'm going to put it in water and see if it's truly water resistant. At least it was rated IP67, which means that you can carry it along in the rain, or if it falls in water up to a certain depth for a certain period of time, it should still work. Okay, so I'll put mine in water and we'll see if it works. And if it doesn't work, I hope you guys will be able to send me some contributions so that I can buy a new phone. Like I said, I've been using this phone for like 3 years. And of course, as a normal user, when you're using a phone, you might fall down once or twice. And I was walking up the stairs to my office one day and this phone fell out of my pocket. And the back camera, there's no physical sign that it's damaged, like it's not cracked or anything, but it doesn't work any longer. It's only the front camera which works. So when you hold it, it feels very premium, it feels very durable. It's made of an all metal aluminum body, but then I guess the camera, maybe it might have come off, or maybe some screws or something came off, but it doesn't work any longer. This device uses an LCD display, and that doesn't really matter today because we have a lot of OLED displays, but then the colors are very rich and very saturated, and the display is bright enough to be used outside in broad daylight. Now, the speakers on this device are amazing. Like I said, this was my very first iPhone, so I was blown away immediately when I heard the sound on this speaker. And I say I was impressed because I consider myself a bit of an audiophile. I like music, and I have so many Bluetooth speakers and different gadgets for listening to music. Okay, so, and I'm someone who also used the HTC One M7, which had boom sound, and that thing was awesome. So when I moved to the Apple ecosystem and I realized that the iPhone 7 really produces really excellent audio, I was very impressed. Now, the iPhone 7 launched with 2 gigs of RAM, and Apple doesn't really like talking about the RAM or memory or specs on their device because they think, or they have this philosophy that when you buy a microwave or you buy a fridge, it has a lot of specs in it, okay, but you don't really care about it. What you care is that it works. So usually when they are having their launch events, they don't talk about RAM and battery capacity and stuff, but I'm going to talk about it. This thing comes with 2 gigs of RAM. And talking about battery capacity, it comes with less than 2000 milliamperes of battery capacity. This iPhone 7 came with 64 gigs of storage. And coming from Android, I quickly realized that not having expandable storage is going to be a problem, especially for people who live in Africa, like me, where data is pretty expensive and I can't always be backing up things to the cloud or downloading from the cloud, or even having a subscription service where if I need to access my files, I always need to pay month after month. It's crazy. So it quickly ran out of storage because I was using it like as my daily driver for all my pictures, videos, WhatsApp. If you're buying an iPhone 7, try and get at least 256 gigs of storage. Now, the really good thing about iPhones is because Apple makes both the hardware and the software, this iPhone 7, though it was released like 3 years ago, still has the latest iOS updates. I'm running iOS 13.3 on this particular device, and it's amazing because if it was an Android device, probably it might not be supported after 3 years. Like I said, I came from an Android background, okay? I'm an Android user. And when I joined the Apple ecosystem, and I realized that the iPhone 7 doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter earphone jack, I was a bit disappointed because I couldn't charge and then listen to music at the same time. And this thing doesn't have wireless charging either. So it was a bit of a bummer for me. And if you are getting one, at least you need to know that. Maybe you can pair it with a Bluetooth earpiece or something like the QCY earbuds I reviewed, and I'll leave a link to both the iPhone where you can get it at the best price on Amazon and the QCY wireless earbuds in the description below. So those were my very first impressions of the iPhone 7, and since I've already reviewed the iPhone X, it makes more sense to do a comparison between the iPhone 7 and the iPhone X because they were released year after year. The iPhone 7 was released 2016 and then the iPhone X was released the year after. And maybe if you're an Android user who is thinking of joining the Apple family, or you are using like an iPhone 4, 5, 6 and you want to upgrade but you don't have like $1,000 or $700 to buy the latest phones, and you have like maybe $500 or below, maybe this would help you to make an informed decision. So to start the comparison, we are going to talk about price. Like I said earlier, you can get this on Amazon renewed, okay? And when you're buying a renewed phone, you need to check the battery life, okay? Because if it's maybe 80 to 100, that's okay. So you can get this renewed at $200, and you can get the iPhone X for about $500. But I found a really great deal on Amazon where you can get it for about $450, okay, for the 256 gig variant. And when it comes to iPhones, I always prefer buying one with higher storage because I don't want to subscribe to anything on the cloud. So I'm going to leave the link for that particular iPhone X and this iPhone 7 in the description below as well. Now what that means is you'd be paying 2 times the amount of the iPhone 7 if you do decide to get the iPhone X. But does it mean that the iPhone X is 2 times better than the iPhone 7? The iPhone 7 comes with Touch ID for unlocking your device, whilst the iPhone X comes with Face Unlock. And in my opinion, I think the iPhone 7 is more secure because I have a colleague who is able to unlock another colleague's iPhone X in my office, and they don't look alike at all. Now let's talk about the build of these two phones. Like I said, the iPhone 7 is made of an all-metal body, okay, and it's made of aluminum. When you hold it, it feels like very good in the hands. It feels very durable. It feels very premium. It has fallen down quite a lot, but there are a few dents. No, not dents. They are just like scratches at the back, and like I said, the back camera isn't working. On the other hand, though, the iPhone X comes with glass in front and glass at the back. Now, glass at the back means it's enabled for wireless charging, which is a good thing, though it's not fast wireless charging, but it means that if it falls down, it's likely to shatter the glass at the back, and the cost of repair for the glass at the back might buy you another phone. Now let's talk about the screen and the display. The iPhone 7 comes with an LCD display, and you have 4.7 inches of screen real estate. On the other hand, the iPhone X comes with a 5.5 inch display. So what that means is you get richer colors, more saturated, vibrant colors on the iPhone X than you would get on the iPhone 7 because the iPhone 7 is LCD whilst the iPhone X has an OLED display. And because of the larger screen real estate, you would enjoy your movies and YouTube videos and gaming better on the iPhone X than on the iPhone 7. Now let's talk about the batteries. I typically charge my iPhone 7 at least twice in a day. And like I said, Apple doesn't usually talk about the specs on their devices, like the battery size. This thing has less than 2,000 milliamperes of battery capacity, 1,960 milliamperes for those who want the specific figure. Whilst the iPhone X came with a much larger battery capacity of 2,716 milliamperes. So I typically charge my iPhone X once a day, but I charge my iPhone 7 twice a day. The iPhone X is also enabled for fast charging, but typical Apple fashion, they don't include the fast charging adapter in the box. Now let's talk about the cameras because this is where you get a clear difference between the two devices. The iPhone 7 has just one camera at the back, whilst the iPhone X has 2 cameras at the back. Now, iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max have 3 cameras at the back. So it's been a gradual evolution, but does one camera mean less quality than 2? When I switched from the 7 to the X, I was immediately blown away by the quality of the camera. Even in 2019, I think the iPhone X has some of the best daylight photography and video on any smartphone anywhere in the world. The portrait mode on the iPhone X is amazing. See, already now, I'm a fine guy. Like, I'm a very handsome, fresh guy. And when I take portrait pictures on the iPhone X, damn, like I get so many likes on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I wish I could just like collect all those likes and go and deposit them into my bank account. Like people are just, they're just amazed, like how fine the guys, Now, because I record a lot of video, when I started my YouTube channel, I was recording my videos with my iPhone X. And the beauty of the iPhone X is that it can record 4K video, okay, at 60 frames per second. So you get very smooth video. You get like real life video. Whilst the iPhone 7 can record 4K, but at 30 frames per second. And the iPhone X can also record 1080p 240 frames per second for super slow motion. But on the iPhone 7, you get only 720p 240 frames per second. At 1080p, you'd only get 120 frames per second. Why are women so obsessed with iPhones? Like, women, especially in Ghana and Africa, are super obsessed with iPhones. I don't know if that's a trend in the United States or what, but if you're a woman and you bought your iPhone with your own money, let me know in the comments below. And also, I want to know, what do you look out for when you're buying a new phone? Is it the battery capacity or the storage or the form factor or waterproof, or what do you look out for? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll do a follow-up video on things that I look out for when I'm buying a new phone. Thanks, Bebre.